It's Hollow Knight. Welcome to GameSoup. My name is Ed.
My name's Joe.
Joe's on the controller. Hollow Knight was released February 24th, 2017. And a copy of the game was provided to us by the developers, who are Team Cherry. This game was developed and published by Team Cherry. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
So it's a Metroidvania. Joe, you like these kinds of games, right?
We don't play them enough on GS for me to really be able to say if I like this particular genre. No, we love Metroidvanias on GS.
No,
it's probably our favorite genre.
Probably. I mean, there's something inherently fun about this kind of action. You know, about jumping and attacking, and especially this game.
And exploring.
Just
having one big open world.
I mean, that's what games are for. Exploration. Living in the mind of somebody else. In this case, a Hollow Knight. So it's a Metroidvania, a 2D Metroidvania.
I'm just wandering around.
No, that's okay. That's all right. We opted to start my file instead of starting a new game. Maybe we will, though. Maybe at some point we'll go back to the new game to see how it starts. I'm about 5 hours in. So far I have the dash ability.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. So I can jump, attack, and dash. I'm pretty sure there's a double jump in here somewhere, but I haven't gotten there yet.
I hope so. We were talking about that off camera, off the show.
Yeah. It's a fairly... It's big. It's a pretty big game. I've only been to the first, I guess, 3 or 4 areas, and it's still a big game. But yeah, it's gorgeous. I think a lot of the hype was from the aesthetics.
Yeah, just the visuals.
Yeah. Like, this is a striking game. So, it had a fair amount of hype behind it. There's a subreddit for it and everything.
It's pretty satisfying. There's a lot of particles and a lot of... It's satisfying to kill the other bugs in this game.
Somebody compared it to Yotun. I don't think did we play it on the channel?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
I don't remember what it looked like, but if it's anything like this, I mean, this is an interesting style.
Yeah, that was
he just dropped
top
coins.
down. This is no, I like the style of this a little bit better than Yotun so far.
You don't know if I've ever... Whoa. I don't know what that is. So throughout the game, you'll find these worms that are locked in... Not locked, but, put in glass cases or glass bottles.
Yeah.
And each one of these is one that I've rescued already. And every time you come back here, you get money for them. And I don't know what that just was. Question mark. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a game that had quite this aesthetic. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it. Yeah, like you said, nice and smooth. Lots of particle effects and everything. So what else can I tell you about? Oh yeah, there is a map. The left bumper will pull up the map.
Left bumper.
If you hold it, yeah.
Oh, you hold it.
Yeah, there are a couple different ways to look at this. So this is the first area of the game, and you can see all these icons here. Funny story though, when you first start the game, you don't have a map, and you don't have a compass, which is the thing that pinpoints where you are on the map, and none of those icons are there. So you start the game with literally nothing. And all those things you have to buy. You have to spend like 100 coins for the map, 100 coins for the compass. If you're feeling lost, why not pop up to our store in DIRTMOUTH? That's the hub area up top, there's basically a store and a couple of NPCs.
I notice it's kind of dark in this area. Do we have some kind of a light item that's lighting our way here?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I think there is one in the game.
There's just a nice lighting effect around the character.
Yeah, I mean the whole game. It's a grim looking game. For the most part.
Yeah, it's dark. A lot of Metroidvanias are dark, and I like how the character has a lot of white on him, so he pops off the background.
Yeah,
they did that with Symphony of the Night as well. Like Alucard, he has white hair, and the reason why they gave him white hair in that game is because it pops out from the very dark backgrounds in that game.
Yeah, it works here too, I think.
Yeah, and Ori and the Blind Forest is another example. That entire character is just pure white.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
We just made a loop-de-loop here.
We did. And as I was just mentioning, the game it seems really, really intensive, really resource intensive. So when I was playing this just on my own, I wasn't recording any footage, and there were still some frame drops. It seemed to happen a lot whenever there was money, like whenever you kill an enemy, they spawn money. Or coins, I guess. And I guess, maybe there were just a lot of sprites on screen when that happens, but there was occasional slowdown and frame dropping, which is kind of surprising. So maybe that's something they can iron out with performance patches. I mean, we're not playing on a toaster, this is a decent system. We've been recording all every other game you've ever seen on GameSoup so far without problem. So that's, I guess, a minor issue. But, you know, having just launched 2 days ago, who knows? Maybe we'll see a fix for that in the future. Okay, so that bench is where you rest. That is your bonfire, so to speak, if we want to... Oh, God,
Oh,
Dark
okay.
Souls is a genre. I don't even want to... Oh, God. Ugh.
Yeah, a lot of Dark Souls players are getting tired of people calling everything a Souls-like.
Yeah. Yeah, we should save that conversation. There's a lot to talk about on that subject. Let's see. I did have some notes here that I wanted to mention.
Oh, there's fall damage.
No, you didn't just take damage.
I didn't take damage?
No.
Oh, okay. I think I just got stunned for a second.
Yeah, you do get stunned when you fall far enough.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's not too bad.
Nah.
Fall damage can be kind of annoying in a 2D platformer, but if it's just a stun, that's a punishment, but it's not too bad. It shows the impact that you fell really far, but without punishing the player too heavily.
So those blue orbs that we collected a minute ago, those are, I think, temporary health. You have one left.
Oh, like the blue tiers in Binding of Isaac.
Yeah.
Or the shields in
they're like
Dungeon.
I've only ever seen that one orb that you came across. So they're pretty rare. And I mean, by and large, these areas are pretty big, but you'll see a lot of the same enemies. The level design, it's fine. I have no problems with it. But we'll come back to the map system in just a second too, because it can be a little confusing. Like I said, you have to buy the map.
I'm looking at the... Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. You have to buy the map.
You have to buy the map. Like, your first time down here in the dungeon, once you leave the hub area, you don't have any map at all. So you got to come across the map NPC who will sell you the map. And then at that point... Nice. At that point, you have to buy the compass, which tells you where you are on the map. Like, if you can actually hold LB and walk around a little bit when you're just playing the game.
Yeah.
It'll show you where you are on the map. But you don't have that. You have to buy that. And the upgrades, there are other upgrades for the map that you have to buy, which allow you to see where the save points are and see where the NPC, like the merchants, are. So that first leg of the game is you getting money so that you can purchase a map. So they really start you with nothing. So, and that actually turns out to be a little frustrating when you get to a new area.
Yeah, and you can't see where you're going.
Yeah, the first time you enter a new area,
anything.
you don't have a map. And if you do get the map for that area, there's one other feature, which is that when you're traversing an area which you don't have the map, or which you have the map for, but it's your first time there, the new parts on the map will only show up after you've reached a save point. So say you went through a brand new area, you went through like 5 or 6 rooms. You can't look at your map right away. You have to go to a save point and then come back, and then your map will be updated. So you're pretty much always just on the fringe of, like, I have no idea where I am, I don't know what this area looks like. You know, the map is most useful when you're backtracking or when you're returning to an area, coming back through. But it's not as useful when you're in an area for the first time. Oh, those! Did you see it? Did you see it?
I saw that, yeah.
You saw that. So, stalactites, huh?
Of course I saw it on plan.
Yeah. They keep coming. I have a few gripes so far. Okay, game is gorgeous. Gameplay's fun. Level design is fine.
The control is definitely tight.
Control's really tight. It is...
The jump is not... I mean, I can't think of another game that has a jump control exactly like this, but it feels good.
It does, yeah.
It's definitely... Yeah, the jumping is definitely solid.
Yeah, it's nice. The combat is nice, too.
Yeah, very simple, but it's elegant, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, everything is pretty much
that's the right word,
pretty understated. But there are a couple things. One, those spikes. Those spikes love to fall down when you're on a narrow platform.
They fall pretty fast.
They do fall pretty fast, and there might... Oh yeah, here's another point where the frames like to drop when you're breaking open those money crates. They're like from Shovel Knight, when you shovel up a bunch of jewels,
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. You hit them a couple times, you whack them, and then all that money flies out. And that is where the frames tend to drop the most. So it seems like whenever there's currency on screen, especially a large amount, that kind of happens. Anyway, back to the spikes. Spikes like to fall. And I guess there is a very quick tell, but they like to fall on you. And
we were already here, right?
Yeah, we were already here. They like to fall on you in places that I don't necessarily think they should be. So, for example, you might, if you just landed on that platform that you just jumped off, there could have been a spike there on top of it, and you might have seen it.
I just saw some rocks falling from the top.
Yeah, that's
I thought it was going to be a spike because we're talking about spikes.
Yeah, and like here, none of these will fall on you, but maybe as you go
wow,
further
I really
into this room.
The color scheme here.
Yeah, it's really good looking.
Oh shit! Okay.
Surprise!
I was hoping I'd be able to.
It's hot water. You can
All right.
you can air dash. By the way, did I mention that?
Oh yeah, I did do that earlier. I keep forgetting to dash.
I didn't get the dash until I guess about 3.5, maybe 4 hours in.
That's a long time.
I did take my time with the game. I'm sure that plenty of other players have gotten a lot farther in less time. I died a couple times.
All these leaves flying up as you run, that looks really cool. Too.
Yeah, yeah. So when you
A
die...
lot of attention to detail.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, you died. So,
cool.
Which is good, because that brings me to my next point. When you die, you start...
At a bench.
You start at a bench. Right. And guess what? You dropped your souls.
Oh, I have to go back and get them. So I have to go back to the same place where I just was.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have to go back to the place where you just were and defeat your shadow
And
self.
I noticed that bar, that circular bar in the top corner now has a shattered egg in it. Does that mean I don't get to use that bug juice anymore?
You do get to use bug juice. Yeah, that's just
Okay.
a visual effect to tell you that you've died.
Oh, okay.
And then once you get your soul or your shadow back, that'll restore back to normal.
Okay.
So it doesn't...
You're not gimped like you
Right.
are in Neo when you die.
Right. Yeah, there's no real gimping that I'm aware of, anyway. Except for... now you have to go back to your body
Yeah.
so that you can get that money back.
Well,
Money...
we might not be doing that.
You can use the map for this, actually. This is an instance where the map is very useful. So money is... I mean, you get it from almost everything, but it drops in really small amounts. So you kind of want to keep a tight leash on it. And if you lose... I think I was carrying around 1,200 gold when I was playing this morning. You know, it's called Geo.
Oh, cool.
What?
The spike just fell right there.
Yeah, yep.
I was just happening to be moving.
Look how narrow that platform is.
Yeah.
And that's
Maybe
like...
you just have to keep moving.
You do, but when you're playing a Metroidvania...
Look at the spikes on the... There's so many stalactites on the ceiling.
Yeah, in fact, see if you can proc it again. Go back into that room.
Okay.
I would like to see...
That's what we do on GameSoup. We like to
Proc
experiment
things.
with stuff in
So-
games rather than just play them to be good at them or beat
Yeah.
them.
So, like, this entire ceiling is covered in spikes, right?
Yeah, like that one, that doesn't stand out at all.
But there it is, yeah. So that's the tell that you get. You get, like, a little effect, a little dust effect.
Yeah, and if you're just looking at the character, looking at something else on the screen, or maybe that power-up that I assume was
Yeah.
in the top left corner.
So, do you really always want to be terrified of things falling on top of you at every turn? Or do you want to always be moving so fast just to avoid those? Like, it's a Metroidvania where you're exploring every room as much as you possibly can. And you want to take your time with that, you know? Here they come, here they come.
Holy.
Yeah, so it's weird because that's sort of incentivizing you to run fast and to jump through things quickly. But the level designs themselves don't really reflect that. You know, and the genre itself doesn't reflect that. So it's sort of a strange choice, and those are everywhere. I've gotten hit by those more than I care to admit. And it's not like they're super easily avoidable, and they tend to happen on narrow platforms, which is very strange. You can actually get over here, yeah. So this is a new-ish area.
Yeah.
So spikes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to explore a bunch of stuff while we're doing the episode, so
Right.
we can see a bunch of different parts of the game. This guy's kind of neat.
Yeah, yeah. The enemy designs are...
Look at him go.
There's a fair amount of them. There's a fair amount of variety. I mean, they all look sort of buggish. Some of them...
They all have kind of the same cute face.
Yeah. I like them. I like the designs. I mean, it's just that cartoony look is just sort of appealing anyway. Like, regardless of what they are. They could be terrifying monsters and they would still be cute, you know?
Dark but cute, which is kind of a popular style, but I like it.
There are some really, I'll say it, there are some frustrating enemies. With patterns that, I mean, they're... there's that too.
I probably could have done that a little more carefully.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not necessarily going to blame the design for that.
Oh, you might have also noticed something I wanted to mention is when you attack something, you get knocked back. Although you won't be able to tell here because this is an NPC. So this is a guy I just found, you know, just a few minutes.
Yeah, this guy's
ago.
a real creep.
So he sells charms, which are, if you've played Mario RPG, Paper Mario, I guess, it's sort of like the badge system in that game. You have a limited number of slots, and every charm, or badge in this case, takes up a certain amount of those slots. So these are, for example, Fragile Greed.
Okay, that's actually a pretty cool system.
Yeah.
So you can have more powerful charms then, right?
Right.
That just take up more
Right.
of your points.
So when I first came here, I spent all my money on these because there was one like Fragile Greed, one was for life, it was like Fragile Hearts or something. And I guess I should have figured this out from the name, but those, when you die, those break. And I didn't know that until after I bought them. Until I looked
They
at...
break permanently?
Well, you can repair them,
Oh, okay.
but they were expensive. I think the most expensive one was $350, which is a lot for, you know, for this game, when normally like average enemies give you 2 or 3 or 4 geo. So I wouldn't have bought them, but I didn't learn that they break until I already bought them. So that was cool.
Whoa.
Wow. Yeah, this guy's cool. But I think I'm wearing a badge right now. In fact, why don't you pull up the hit the back button.
Back button.
Yeah,
All right.
this will pull up your menu. So here's just our basic inventory. A lot of the stuff.
Shard.
Yeah.
One to protect oneself. Collect 3 or more to strengthen your shell and protect from.
Oh.
Maybe that's probably heart pieces.
Maybe.
I bet you get extra hit points.
That's the first one I've seen.
That's crazy.
So this is your basic equipment. We have our nail, which is that's your
Old nail.
yeah. It's a
Okay.
nail.
Can you get more weapons? I guess if it's displaying our weapon here, maybe you can get more weapons.
I think
Press
you can
X.
upgrade it. You can sort of
Oh, okay.
yeah, just make it stronger. That is your you can collect, you can heal and shoot that vengeful spirit. We already talked
so
about
these
that.
are just our moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about those. Okay.
But if you, let's see, hit the R bumper. This is your badge collection, your charms collection, and you can see that the one at the top left, that this red looking one,
Yeah.
that's your compass. So one of your slots, I mean, if you're like me, one of your slots is always going to be taken up by the compass because you don't want to ever use a map that doesn't tell you where you are.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a game where you were like, no, I'd rather not know where I am exactly?
Yeah, that's usually just the default
Yeah.
feature. It just shows a little dot where your character is, or at least highlights the room that you're in.
So you're always going to be using at least one of these notches, these so-called notches, for that. At least I am. But you can see some of the other ones here. I bought a lot of these you just find in the world. But you can also buy a couple of them. So this one I have equipped, which is the long nail.
Oh, it gives you higher range.
Yeah, yeah. So the range that you have now is, enhanced. Normally your range it's pretty short actually. That one I haven't used, but that's like a thorns, like a retaliation attack.
Should we equip another one?
So funny story. Funny story. No, I guess it's not really that funny. I actually like this system a lot. You can only change badges or charms. You can only change charms at benches.
Oh, I see.
Right. So I
We were
like
talking
that.
about that system before we even played this game. We were talking about possibly implementing a system like that in one of our games.
Yeah, yeah, and it's strategic,
Yeah.
because even if you don't know what's coming, you still have to get a sort of like a well-rounded loadout. Now I only have 4 notches, so I only have 2 badges, but it sort of forces you to make decisions. You should heal.
Like, right.
Yeah. There you go. And from what I've seen, that soul orb only holds enough to heal you, I think, 3 hearts, I guess? Hearts or faces. So, and it is pretty challenging. There are some parts where...
This is definitely harder than I was expecting. I was
Yeah.
just about to say that.
It's tough. It's tough, yeah. And there are occasions where, I don't know if we'll actually see any of these, but... Okay, some of these enemies are frustrating, man. This one in particular. You just have to run away because it explodes. Like, if you attack that, it'll just explode. Whew!
Did I take damage?
You
No, I
did
didn't.
not. You are very lucky. But you can actually get those guys to kill themselves, which is cool. If you can sort of manipulate these bombs to go back towards them, they
Should I
explode.
try? Maybe I'll try it.
It's... yeah, go for it.
All right, we'll try it.
If you want to, yeah.
We like screwing around
Yeah.
with mechanics here on GS.
Wait,
Wait, where'd it
where'd
go?
it- Where did it go? Oh, there it is. There it is.
Okay.
See if you can do it. I mean, it's fun to fool around with. There you go. You died.
I killed myself,
Your
not
head,
the enemy.
Your head popped off.
All right. I guess that's what we get.
Yeah. But man, is it a good-looking game. Yeah, another thing I kept noticing was that when you attack, you have there's a knockback effect. You know, when you attack an enemy, you get knocked back, and when you use that vengeful spirit ability, you get knocked back. So, imagine you're standing on a platform that's about this narrow, and an enemy comes around the.
I keep doing that.
Yeah, that's all right. By and large, situations where that happens, they're pretty rare. A lot of the times, the designers have smartly placed a platform below where you would naturally fall.
Yeah, I think I should definitely be taking it slower when I'm going down those. I should probably. There's platforms on screen that lead you down.
Right.
So you never have to make a blind jump. So.
You can also use the right analog stick to look up and down.
Oh, okay. I didn't try that yet.
So that's
good.
Pretty useful. What was I just saying? What were we just saying?
Yep, it does. Wow, that does a lot of damage.
Oh my god.
It does more than one.
Oh, there's your spirit. You dead. You dead.
Oh, good.
Your head popped off again. So yeah, this was actually a lot of the time that I was playing this game. You know, whenever you die, you have to go back to your souls. I guess you don't have to, but
we don't have to this time.
You should.
Right?
No, we don't have to this time. Don't worry about it.
Well, we don't have much to get.
No. But
oops.
I was in a situation where my souls were in a place where I couldn't access them unless there's this part where you drop down and you're between two mini bosses. Oh. So, and my soul was down there. So I died and I would go back to collect my soul and then I'd be in this room with two mini bosses that I can't escape from. And they killed me. And so I have to go back over and over and over. And, you know, I'm kind of a moron. Oh, I actually have not been here. Uh-oh.
That's a guy.
Yeah, that's two guys. They love this. This is the third time I've seen this. I think that one on your left there, I'm just making a guess here. I think that one will come alive too. I don't know.
I assume so. This one came alive.
Just don't get too close. This is the third time where they pitch you between two enemies. Yep, there he is. There he is.
And they're slow enough.
Yeah.
I think I can handle this.
They have that goo, that acid goo.
I keep jumping and attacking just out of force of habit.
Yeah.
Because in Castlevania games, when you attack on the ground, normally you can't move anymore.
Right.
But in this, you can continue moving when you attack on the ground, which I really like. Visually, it doesn't quite look as nice, I guess. But it's kind of hard to notice when you're in the middle of the action.
Right.
The reason why it doesn't look as nice visually is because the animation. If you look, the animation. I'm not really running right now as far as the animation goes, even though it kind of looks like it, but it looks a little weird because I'm in a standing attack animation.
Right.
While I'm moving,
you just don't notice it,
but
when you're running.
So here's the run animation, and here's the attack animation. So I mean, it kind of looks like he's doing a wonky run here, but it's barely noticeable, and the character has really short legs. So I think that, and it's impossible to draw a character like this. Not impossible, but it takes so many frames. You would have to draw a ridiculous number of frames to have the character be running and attacking at the same time. That's why in most 2D games you don't see that.
Right.
Because it's just too many frames to draw, and it will be really complicated probably even to program just to all the different potential leg positions and attack positions that you would have to combine. It's ridiculous. They do it in Metal Slug though by making the legs and the torso of the characters be on their different sprites. So that is one way to solve it. So
that is way too much work.
If you want to see how to do it, you can check out some Metal Slug sprite sheets and you can see how they did it. So there are ways to do it. Actually, I think they did it in Mercenary Kings, which is extremely influenced by Metal Slug. A spiritual successor almost. Okay, that was nicely placed. Alright, here we go.
Here we go, yeah. There you go. Yeah, so areas like this, you really just have to sort of beeline through. But, you know, your first time through, you're going to be taking your time.
Yeah, this feels more. This feels like more like a trial and error game. This isn't a game that's necessarily gated by bosses alone. It feels like you're going to be gated by the difficulty of traversing the
Yeah.
just the levels, the normal terrain.
That's a good way to put it. I've only fought, I guess, a couple of bosses. There have been a couple mini boss encounters, as I mentioned. I actually had a bug on the first major boss. It's another thing like you, another sort of knight, like a female knight, and she bugged out of the room. She just clipped right out of the walls, and she was gone. And we never heard from her again. Oh,
Who's this?
who's this?
He doesn't look friendly. Oh, he is friendly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cloth. Her name is Cloth. It's funny, they all have these, the voice acting is sort of like Sims-like, so they just, they have their own language.
Yeah. You're like Banjo-Kazooie or something.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So that's kind of nice. Oh yeah, this is fun. So,
Oh, cool.
I bet you can figure out what to do here. There you go. Use your pogo attack, and then you can just fly all around town. If that's your thing, you can do it. That's my thing.
Yeah, flying around town is pretty much our thing here on GS.
Flying around town. That's our motto. So I mean, you just actually when you were at that double boss, that was an area I had not been to, and then when you got back to the bench, it said map updated because it had.
Oh boy.
What?
That's close.
There you go.
I should have dashed there.
Yeah. So you just made a loop.
Yeah, you're right. I did.
I am right.
Yeah, usually it's right.
That's actually something you'll notice a lot if you play the game. A lot of the rooms, like they're big like this, they're fairly large, but they tend to loop back on themselves. So while there is always a little bit of backtracking to be done, it's not necessarily too bad.
Ouch.
You're always with run away!
Oh, he explodes again.
Yeah, he
on
explodes
death.
again. Yeah.
Okay.
So that enemy always explodes on death.
Yeah, it's kind of hard jumping in the way that we did.
Yeah, actually,
rather than starting the game over because I don't understand the
Right.
enemy behaviors.
Do you
and
want
kind of not
to-
being eased in on it? But I'm more glad that we did jump into your file.
Yeah.
Than starting over because I think we get to see a lot more of the environments and mechanics and
Yeah.
enemies just by wandering around. And
Exactly.
I'm trying to go in different directions here
And
when I
that's-
get killed or when I have the option.
Yeah, the alternative to doing this was to start at the beginning. We could skip the opening cutscene, sure, but we wouldn't have the map, we wouldn't have the compass, we wouldn't have the dash ability. We would be able to jump and attack, and play the first, 40 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So that's not to say that it's boring by any means, it's not. But, it's a little bit slow to start, as most games are. So I think, hopefully this gives you a better idea of what to expect when you play the game. So this is a lot of fun. I'm told there's a double jump. I might have mentioned this already. I don't know.
What the fuck?
Oh, okay. This is new.
Ouch.
You're gonna need to heal.
I know.
Oh, you're dead. Oh, I thought you
I
had.
didn't have time.
Yeah. That's the
I don't
problem.
know what to do there.
It's stressful when you're trying to heal in the middle of battle.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was gonna try to throw a fireball at him actually, just to prevent myself from getting killed. but
Right.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. That's most of my deaths come from that. Like when you're in the middle of a battle and you're trying to decide, do I want to leave, do I want to retreat, or do I want to just try to be gutsy? So,
Do not have a map for this, so I have to buy it.
yeah, I think so, but I haven't encountered the map seller in this area yet.
Oh, there's a map seller in each
I don't know. I think.
area. Okay.
So far,
Come on.
every area it starts off like that where you don't have a map at all. So it's not just you buy the map one time, it's you buy a map for each area. So like now, if you're trying to figure out where to go in this area, you don't have any frame of reference whatsoever.
Oh, come on. The first one rolled at me,
Yeah,
the second one
yeah.
jumped at me, and I ran right into the first one and jumped right into the second one.
And that's actually been sort of it's sort of a double-edged sword to have graphics that look as pretty as this and really as nice as this and as detailed and intricate. You might have noticed that, like, for example, this screen with all the mushrooms in the background and all the foreground breakables and stuff, it's highly reminiscent of the previous screen that you were just on. So, and it looks just like this screen, So after a while, even though these screens are functionally different, they start to look the same. And if you're trying to go around this area and try to find out where to go, the next place to go, but you don't have a map, and everything starts to look similar, it gets pretty confusing, you know? So if you're the kind of person who likes to, I don't know, draw your own maps or like take detailed notes down on paper or something.
Nobody likes to draw their own maps.
Yeah, but until you get the map for that area, you might find yourself occasionally going in circles. I mean, you know, just occasionally. I mean, it is just me. I also have a terrible sense of direction.
Yeah, that is something that we both have
right
on GS.
But, you know, in the same way, each area is themed so strongly that...
I keep trying to look at the map.
Yeah, that it gets away with this. It gets away with each of these areas looking very similar. And I don't really mind it because it's just so good looking, you know?
So there is one thing I wanted to mention that I've been noticing. There's a really cool, very, very subtle three-dimensional effect. If you look at this platform, the one that I just touched, if you go to the right, there's a little bit of parallax on that, so it looks like you're approaching it.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, there's... I'm pretty sure there is. Yeah. The closer you get to it, the closer it gets to the middle of the camera, the closer the two sprites get together.
Wow.
Yeah, the two platforms.
I did not even notice that.
Yeah.
Attention to detail.
So can we can't get anywhere here, right?
I don't think so. I actually did not.
Like somewhere we can go.
Yeah, it looks like that's in the background. It looks like you would just fall in the water.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in the background.
Get in the hot water.
Desaturated.
Although, you know what's funny about falling in hot water is that there are hot springs in this game which heal you. And you know what hot water and hot springs look like? They look like the same thing. They look like each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So sometimes hot water hurts you. I guess that water's super hot, super charged.
Yeah, no. Did you want to try a new game, or should we?
No,
keep going with this one.
I mean, unless you are dying in particular to start a new game, see what it's like. It's up to you.
Let's do like the first 5 or 10 minutes of it, and then we'll call it.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, I would love to give you advice and say check your map and go here, but we don't have a map.
Yeah, I think we've seen enough varied episodes. It might be cool just to see the beginning.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back out to the main menu. We can just do that live, actually.
Oh yeah. Good idea.
Don't even have to stop.
I was just gonna say, you're right.
I am right. Hollow Knight. So you get 4 save slots with this game.
You can never really have enough.
No, you really can't.
Unless you're Pokemon and you just want to give them one, so they have to buy more cartridges if they want to have.
I guess. Although yeah. You think that was because of cart limitations or just because? Just because. God, this chair is so creaky.
I wonder if that was from limitations or because they wanted to sell more copies of the game, because they sold us another copy of the game.
They sure did.
I had the red version and had the blue version, and we bought an extra blue version. Because we didn't want to restart our files, and we wanted to be able to get some of the Pokemon that we either missed or that we just wanted to have another game to trade with, I guess.
They lured us right in.
Yeah.
I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was cartridge limitations. Because, like, for example, you know that glitch where you watch the old man catch the Weedle or whatever?
No.
So you can encounter Missing No.
Oh, yeah. The Missing No thing?
Yeah, the reason that works in the first place is because of cartridge limitations. I think RAM limitations in particular.
So are there a lot of these cutscenes, like for bosses or when
this
events happen? This is it? Okay,
this is
it's
it,
just an opening?
The rest of the story in this game is told through the character, so far at least, through the NPC dialogue.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Cool. I mean, they didn't even need to put an intro into it. I don't think they probably could have just told it with character dialogue, so it's really nice that they put... it's fully animated at this part.
Yeah. You're like, man, this just looks amazing. It looks amazing.
Yeah, so this is kind of icing on the cake. I guess it's nice to impress the player right up front.
Yeah.
Give them a cool, well painted and animated cutscene like that.
But from here on out, this is what you get.
Right.
You know.
Dramatic landing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit shorter, the range on the sword here.
It might not be by a huge amount.
Or the nail, I guess it's called.
The nail, yeah, the nail.
Which would be a sword for a bug.
I guess so. I guess you're really just that tiny. You're bug-sized. So yeah, sound design, graphic design, top-notch. Really...
They introduced that pretty early.
So this just tells you how to heal. Actually,
No,
really,
hold B to.
yeah.
It's nice to. It is nice that they limit the number of buttons that you have to use, because holding B to heal, if they would probably make it so that healing takes some time anyway, just so that you can't do it constantly mid battle. Like
Right.
Momodora Reverie in the Moonlight does that, and obviously Dark Souls games do that. Or you have to budget your time
Right.
to heal. And Castlevania games do not do that. Or Shantae and the Pirate or Shantae games don't do that. You just pause the game and heal fully if you want.
Yeah, that's a really good way to break a game. If you're designing a game and you want it to be broken, just make it so the player can heal the full anytime. Surprise!
Yeah, it's kind of like, to me, that's like playing the game on easy mode. If you really want to beat a Castlevania game, especially a Metroidvania Castlevania game, you wanna do it without using potions at all. That kind of, to me, feels like beating the game on like a real clear, like a 1 credit clear in an arcade game would be the equivalent. Hold B to focus.
Nice job.
Great.
Do you feel focused?
At this point,
So we get a little bit of lore, a little bit of backstory here. But that's actually pretty sparse so far in the game. You'll find those stones.
pretty satisfying to break stuff in
Yeah,
this game
yeah.
and kill enemies.
Yeah.
They did a good job with the particles or the debris effects. Yeah, like that looks good too.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another benefit to having so many destructibles in the game. There's
Another
always something to
dramatic
attack.
landing.
Yeah. There's always stuff that you can smash, even if
Yeah.
there's not an enemy nearby. Like, all the grass is cuttable. A lot of these poles that you'll see later on.
I keep trying to break the lights
Yeah,
because
you actually can.
Castlevania, and that's I think that's a good design element. Like because Castlevania does that too.
Yeah.
You're constantly jumping or just slashing at things.
Later on, you'll encounter different lamps that you can actually break.
So we're in the town here.
Yeah, this is. We were here before, right?
Yeah.
This is where we started. So this sets up the story. You basically jump into the well, and you're on your way, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I like the pacing of this so far. They give you a cool animated intro, a little bit of gameplay so you can tell what the game is about, and then they start filling you in. This is kind of the perfect pacing. We've talked about this on several other games. I think Momodora 3 we go into it a little bit as well. If you check out that's an old LP that we did on the channel, but I think we addressed that in a little bit more detail there. But
So, you didn't use the quick transportation system.
okay, there's a like a teleport system.
Yeah, sort of. So there's something called the Stagway, which is you can summon this stag beetle, I guess, and it's a one-time fee every time you find a new a new location that you can warp to or from. You give them a certain amount of money, and then you can freely move between areas. And it's funny. There's actually like a diagram of a train system. With all the various stops labeled and everything.
Okay, that's cool.
So yeah, actually, that building that up top next to the shop was the entrance to the Stagway. So later on, if
Oh,
you
I probably should have gone in there then
Oh,
instead
no.
of going back into
no, it was
the world.
closed. It was closed. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's
you
not
have to
unlocked yet.
activate it first, right?
Right.
Yeah, everything in this game has to be unlocked except for jumping and attacking.
Oh, he was dropping his weapon when he got killed. That's cool. Just wondering what that was.
And sometimes the graphics are too detailed. Like for example, that guy with the horn that's charging you.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and maybe it's just me. Sometimes when you're whacking away, he takes 3 hits, I guess. Sometimes the particles and the details, the dust and the smoke get in the way of him because I
Oh,
guess they're
really?
layered on top of him.
This guy looks like a boss.
And sometimes it's hard for me to judge. And my eyesight is just crap, so maybe that's just me.
Ouch.
But I found myself just getting hit because for a split second these enemies were obscured by particle effects. So this is a pretty simple fight too. This is a good fight, makes you feel powerful, you know? He's got a pretty simple moveset.
I keep jumping to attack.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
I really like the design that you can move while attacking.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is really nice. It would take some getting used to though, because most games if you're on the ground and you attack, you stop moving for
Right.
the reasons we talked about before.
But that feels so bad.
But yeah,
Feels
you
so
don't
bad
you
to
don't
do
have
that.
to jump to attack in this, but it's
You
just
can.
force of habit. Keep doing it. Yeah, you have the option. I think gameplay wise, this is a better decision.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it just feels so nice to jump around in this game. Like the physics, they don't feel loose at all. They feel pretty much just right. Jumping and everything.
So please, future Castlevania games, if there's ever going to be one,
Oh,
take
well,
note.
There'll be bloodstained for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if there will be any.
Hopefully you can
actual...
attack while moving in that.
Yeah.
That's 3D. The character models are 3D, so that wouldn't be as hard to do. You wouldn't have to draw all the individual frames.
Right.
I think that wouldn't be as hard to do. I don't know. I don't know how 3D modeling works.
Well, you get a copy of Unity and a copy of Blender.
Blender.
Did people use Blender?
I did learn to use Blender years ago. I don't know how to use it now, but I didn't get great with it, but that's my only experience with 3D modeling, and I never did any animation or anything. But I have done 2D animation.
So this is a good hint for later.
Can we get down here? Probably not.
We cannot get down there now, and in fact, even on my file, I can't get down there yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming there's going to be a ground stomp.
Hopefully there's a
ability.
downward
Yeah.
ground stomp. That's something that you want. I'm a big fan of giving the player abilities early on in the game, similar like a double jump, dash, things that make the game more fun to play. Oh, I'm trying to attack this guy. All right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of giving double jump, slide, dash, things like that, downward slam early on in the game, because they're just, those type of moves are just really fun, and I want to give the player a lot of time to play with those moves.
Right.
Not necessarily before learning another move. Actually, the opposite. I want them to. I would like to have all of my options available to me pretty early in the game, especially for a second playthrough when you're used to the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the player's gonna learn. You wanna teach them how to use it, but I don't think most players need a whole lot of time to learn how to use a dash or how to use a double jump. Especially most of us are pretty familiar with the double jump, and this is definitely, this game, as far as the difficulty goes, it doesn't seem to be catered to beginners quite as much as I was expecting, which is fine. It's definitely fine.
Well dodged. I know you did that intentionally.
Absolutely. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
The spikes hurt the enemies. I'm glad. Maybe I would expect them to not hurt the enemies. I'm not sure which way I would expect, but I'm glad that they do. It always feels good to push enemies into environmental hazards. You feel a little bit more clever about killing them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why exploding barrels are a thing. And propane canisters just laying around office buildings and Max Payne and Dead to Rights.
Max Payne had those too?
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I played that. That was a hard game, though. See, this room is just
My references are pretty old there.
This game is lousy. This is it. No, I didn't mean that at all. What I was going to say was this room is lousy with enemies. I can't believe I just said this game is lousy.
No, it's...
It's not lousy at all. It's incredible. This room is lousy with enemies. There are a lot of rooms like that are just... This room in particular. Look at how many enemies there are.
There's a lot.
It is just so... It gets really... it can get really stressful.
I really want to double jump. Double jumping is just so fun.
I mean, the dash...
I think when we do our game, we'll maybe make the double jump unlockable just to teach the player how to use it, but give it to you within 1 to 2 minutes.
1 to 2 minutes.
They do that in Strider. You get the slide attack in about a minute. You'll see when we play it. And unfortunately, the double jump is about 40 minutes into the game, if you play fast. Mm-hmm. Which, alright, but...
Well, you saw my playtime here, 4 hours, 45 minutes. I don't have the double jump yet. But I imagine that if it's not your first time through, you're doing a replay of it or you're playing on a harder difficulty mode, that you'd be able to get that really quickly in this game. But I don't know. And, this is a very, very exploration-oriented Metroidvania because, because of the aforementioned map system that we've already talked about at length.
Let's check out the map.
You don't have a map.
We don't even have a map.
The map maker was up there, but... Is it worth going back to? Probably not.
No, we're not going to go back to it. And we've already seen this part of the world, so I mean, we could wrap it up. I think we've seen a lot.
I think so. Yeah, I think we've gotten. I mean, there's always more to show with a game like this. A game like this is massive. But I think
don't want to spoil everything.
No, we don't. We certainly don't. So yeah, why don't we wrap it up then? Oh look, there's another worm and another.
Ah, fuck! I hit it and knocked myself into the hole.
That's the other thing with knockback. When you're on narrow platforms, that can happen. Unless you
equip. Wasn't even enemies though.
No. But there is an item, there's a charm that you can equip that removes that knockback.
Oh, okay.
So
it takes up a slot, though.
It does take up a slot.
To use it.
And yeah. It would, yeah. So if you're into that sort of thing, I think like you, I also prefer to have those things just innate to the character. And I like
I like when they give movement skills, things that affect the character's movement, like the not getting knocked back, but more specifically, I guess double jump and dash. They're
Right.
the easiest examples. And then spread throughout the game power-ups. Spread power-ups throughout the game, like health upgrades, or maybe increase the amount of mana you can hold, increase your heals maybe, and like the charms. Those would be the things that you would use to entice the player to explore more,
Right.
rather than gating areas through using abilities like double jump and dash. You can gate areas, but I think that you should just gate the early areas, maybe the first hour of the game with those kind of abilities, and then later on have it be gated either maybe just through keys. I guess like colored keys is an easy way to solve it, but you could also just entice the player to explore through finding, in this game, those charms.
Yeah, and that's plenty of incentive, I think. But this game does it with both charms and character abilities, which is fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's just a preference.
Yeah.
That's just more my preference.
And it seems like this is a huge game too, because like I said, I've only gotten through the first 3-ish areas. It seems like it's a gigantic game, especially if you're going back for all the secrets, and you can always backtrack with a new ability and find more stuff to do in old areas.
Yeah, I really thought this was going to be a shorter and easier game. This is definitely not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised, but not upset at all.
No, I'm
with what it is.
Yeah, absolutely pleasantly surprised. I'm really enjoying it. It takes a lot nowadays for me to play a game off stream, quote, when we're not recording it. A lot of times we'll record a game and then I won't touch it for a while. But a game like this, I think I'll probably keep playing. So Hollow Knight.
Yeah, you can check it out. It's on Steam. And thanks again to Team Cherry for providing us with a review copy of it.
All right, well, we'll see you next time.